Once upon a time, there lived a kind-hearted woodman. Although his family was very poor, he did not resent his underprivileged life and worked hard to support his old mother. One day he went to a deep forest to gather firewood. He was diligently wielding his axe when it slided out of his hands and fell into a pond with a loud thump. He was flabbergasted. He frantically searched for his axe, searching the pond and looking every nook and corner, but it was of no use. He couldn't even go inside the pond because it was too deep. So the man dropped to the ground and started to sob. Oh my gosh, what should I do? I can't even get her wood without it. And how on earth am I going to afford my mom's meals? He wept for a long time. Suddenly, mist surrounded him with a puff. Then, a mountain spirit with a long white beard materialized from the fog. Who are you, and why are you crying so sorrowfully? The depressed woodman told him the whole story, that for he is a poor woodman, he could not stand losing his axe. The spirit said after hearing him, it's a pity, I'll see if I can help you, and then disappeared with another puff. A moment later he reappeared with 3 axes in his hands. He inquired, showing him the first axe, Is this shiny gold axe yours? The woodman answered, shaking his head, No, I am a mere woodman. I do not deserve the gold axe. That axe is not mine. The mountain spirit presented him another axe. Then, is this silver axe yours? The woodman shook his head again and replied, No, sir, silver axe does not suit a poor woodman. That is not mine either. The spirit asked him, offering the third axe at last, In that case, is this shabby axe yours? Finally, the woodman nodded approvingly and exclaimed, Yes, that old iron axe is mine. The god sat beaming at him. Ho, ho, you're such an honest woodman. You could have been greedy for the gold axe or the silver axe, but you stuck this old axe of yours. I am deeply impressed by your honesty, so I decided to grant you all 3 axes. Upon saying this, he handed all 3 axes, gold, silver, and iron axe, to the dumbfounded woodman and faded away with white smoke. The woodman bowed towards the pond, grabbed the axes, and descended to the village. He sold his gold and silver axes and became rich, and therefore was able to serve his mother with delicious food and warm clothes. In that village also lived a greedy woodman. This covetous guy always deplored his poor estate and blamed his parents. He grew jealous of the kind woodman and asked him how he became so wealthy. He told him everything from the top. Then the greedy woodman thought he could also lead a profuse life if he followed the kind woodman's example. The greedy woodman ascended the mountain with an axe and placed himself near the pond as he had heard. Then he pretended to gather firewood and abruptly threw his axe in the pond. He started to whimper miserably. Oh my God, what should I do? I lost my only axe and my mom wouldn't get her meal today. As he peeped at the pond while pretending to cry, white fog heaped with a puff. Then the mountain spirit emerged. Who are you and why are you crying here? The woodman feigned grieving and told him how he lost his axe. The spirit told him to wait and vanished into the fog. He soon came back with 3 axes in his hands. He asked them, suggesting the first axe, Is this glittering gold axe yours? The woodman, blinded by his greed, answered hastily, Yes, the shiny golden axe is definitely mine. Thank you. But instead of giving him the axe, the spirit glared at him and shouted angrily, You useless price of scrap! You don't even have a fragment of honesty. There is no axe for a greedy liar like you. The woodman had no choice but to return to the village empty-handed. Because he had even lost his axe, he couldn't gather firewood anymore and had to condemn himself for his foolishness. On the other hand, the kind woodman who earned precious axes with honesty did not waste his treasure. Instead, he worked harder and harder every day and lived happily ever after as a rich man.